Alright guys, I anticipate really only three major challenges as you're working through matrices, and in order to see where we're at, I'm going to ask you to try something. Uh, when I ask you to, please pause the video and do this. Try to convert this systems of equations, so x plus y equals 7, y minus 2z equals 12, 8x plus 3z equals 100. Convert that to an augmented matrix, and then I'm going to do it too, and you check yourself and see if we matched or if you made the mistake that is really understandable, especially as you're just learning this, but that you want to avoid. Pause. I'm worried you didn't pause. That's fine. Okay, so converting this to an augmented matrix. Welcome back, by the way. So glad you paused and tried this on your own. Converting this to an augmented matrix, I'm going to put this first row as 1 and 1 and then 0 and then 7. If you have noticed that you have already made a mistake, go fix it. If you understand why. If you don't understand why, come back with me. This next one starts with y, so I guess there's 0 x's and 1 y and negative 2 z's, and that all adds up to 12. Do you see where I'm going? And then the last thing is, let's see, there are 8 x's in this one, there are 0 y's, and there are 3 z's, and those things together add up to 100. Okay, the issue that most folks will run into in a situation like this is they will forget that they are dealing with 3 variables. They need a column to represent x's, a column to represent y's, and a column to represent z's. Instead, they'll just see the general shape of this system and be like, okay, column 1, column 2, column 3. But if you're mixing and matching, like what data goes where, then the algorithms your calculator is using to solve this are no longer going to be helpful. So that is why I have a 0 where the z's go for this first one, because there are no z's, then a 0 for the x's because there are no x's, and a 0 for the y's because there are no y's. Some folks will take the time to rewrite this with 0x and 0y and 0z in all those places to show it. I don't need to do that, and I don't actually expect that you all will either, so feel free to go with that. That's the first error that you want to avoid. Second thing that might arise in some of your problems is you might ask for a reduced row echelon form from your calculator and get back something that doesn't make sense to you. These are the two most common cases of that. The first one on the left is I asked for a reduced row echelon, so I was expecting 1s, but I got 105 and 012, and these things add up to 3 and these things add up to 7. What this is essentially saying to you is it is true that 1x plus 5z is equal to 3. And it is also true that 1y plus 2z is equal to 7. And that in this situation, you can pick any value of z that you like and plug it in, and it should be true for the original problem. Because this last one, 0, 0, 0, 0, that will always be true. It'll always be true that 0x plus 0y plus 0z, nothing plus nothing plus nothing, should equal nothing. With that in mind, so this represents infinite solutions because this row can be true, this row can be true, and this row is always true. The flip side of this is represented right here. In this one I have 1, 0, 7, 12, 1, or 0, 1, 2 equals negative 3. This last row though, look closely here. This is basically saying that 0x plus 0y plus 0z will somehow add up to the number 1. There is no world in which adding nothing to nothing to nothing and nothing else will yield you a 1. So for that reason, this is never true. It is impossible for the system represented by this matrix to ever be true because there is no world in which 0 plus 0 plus 0 will add up to 1. And so for that reason, this entire system would be one where you could write no solutions. These are the 3 errors that I expect most people to bump into as they're working through matrices. First, this guy right here, where you forget to organize your data and you end up oversimplifying things. The second is this one, where you have infinite possible solutions as long as they conform to these first 2 rules. And then the third one is this, where there is one line of the equation that can simply never be true, and then that leads to the idea that there are no solutions. That is it. You are now masters of matrices.